Tip number 8. Examine their English. If English is your primary language, notice the other person's English. Scammers have bad spelling and grammar. This may be due to a lack of learning English properly. And do you really want to be in a relationship with someone you find difficult to talk to? I don't mean loving to hear yourself talk, yet rather proper two-way communication. Tip number 9. Look for someone who has control over their lives financially, mentally, and emotionally. You do not want someone who just got divorced or recently broke up. They need to heal, and you don't want to be their rebound. It is said it takes up to 5 years to get over a divorce, which is longer than getting over a death in a family. Tip number 10. Look for consistency between their words and actions. They need to match as much as possible. Tip number 11. Look for excuses they may give, be it for not keeping an arrangement you made or for how their life is. You don't want a victim. You want to know they take responsibility for their life. Tip number 12. Like number 11 above, look for victim mentality or a poor me attitude. If someone always whines and complains, stay away. There are some people who are known as energy vampires, meaning that as soon as you are near them, they suck the life out of you, which leads to you feeling tired. You want someone who gives you energy rather than someone who depletes it. Negative people often have people feel like crap after being around them, so do your best to hang around happy, positive people. Tip number 13. Inquire whether they are employed, with whom, for how long, and for how much. What are their debts? How much disposable income do they have? Ask this over time and then double check over time. You don't want someone who makes $100,000 a year and spends $50,000 of it a year gambling, buying drugs, or spending it on alcohol. Tip number 14. Inquire about previous relationships and what role they played in the breakup. If they say none, ask again. It takes two to tango, as the saying goes. Tip number 15. Beware if they ask you too many personal questions too quickly. Scammers look for weak points to exploit. If you are kind, they may play on that, or if you are generous, they can abuse that. Tip number 16. If they work for the Defence Force, emergency services, oil rigs, or are international business people, etc., run. These people have such high affair rates or high suicide rates and PTSD issues from trauma. It is incredible, and then you are supposed to live with them for the rest of your lives. Wait till they get therapy or are back full-time on the mainland and settled, and not somewhere overseas. Tip number 17. If they are not online when they say they are going to be, from above, consistency and whether words equal behavior. Tip number 18. How do they deal with anger? There are some people who are so lovely to be around until they drink alcohol and become monsters, and sometimes just getting angry turns them into the most brutal of people. So check to see what they are like when annoyed, frustrated, and really angry. Anger can lead to violence, so take note of this important tip. In one documentary on abusive relationships on YouTube, the girlfriend of a couple in England used to cut and physically abuse her boyfriend to the point of him needing to go to the hospital. Tip number 19. Do they have a caring, loving side, or are they more about themselves? Do they show real interest in you, or are they more self-absorbed? Do they buy you a gift, mostly so you can compliment them and use it as an IOU? Tip number 20. Do they have basic manners? Excuse me, sorry, thank you, please. Sociopaths, etc. do not say these things. Narcissists and the like do not feel remorse or guilt, so lack basic empathy a normal human being does. According to recent online psychological statistics, 6% of the population is narcissistic. Tip number 21. How do they handle alcohol if they drink, and how much and how often do they drink alcohol? This was partly covered previously as an overview. Do they fall asleep, talk more, throw up, or become abusive? Do certain alcoholic beverages affect them differently? Ask, find out, and take notice. Tip number 22. If they never tell you they love you and don't prove it, love not only needs to be verbalized yet also physically proven with gifts, no matter how small. Some men have a problem saying, I love you. To you guys, I say get over it. You must value your love for your partner more than your discomfort with expressing it. So there we have it. These are 22 tips for potentially identifying a romance scammer, whether in person or online. These have come from my own personal experience, by using some logic, and by having a very analytical mind. I trust these have helped and will continue to help you in avoiding being scammed and in your endeavors to find the love you want and deserve. I trust you have enjoyed this video, and to ensure you keep getting more great quality information, click on one of the other videos at the end here, or if you really want your relationship to move forwards in the most effective way, start going through your program, Awaken His Passion, a course for women, or Awaken Her Passion, a course for men. I go into more detail with this information there. You receive a full 30-day money-back guarantee and get to listen to 2/3 of the course with online support in our undergraduate Facebook group to find out if it is a good fit for you, so click on the link in the description box. I trust to see you in our undergraduate Facebook group.